Hello, my name is Dr. David McLemore. I'm the professor of Tuba and Euphonium at Central Washington University in Ellensburg, Washington. I'm very happy to be presenting this ITEA power lesson today, discussing multiple tonguing, and specifically how we can use cross-training to improve it. As we develop our double tonguing and our triple tonguing, often through resources such as the Arbenz method, it can be very easy to take a single-minded approach to our development of multiple tonguing, to simply practice these short etudes from front to back over and over and over again until improvement manifests. You can almost think of this approach as brute force improvement. Now, this approach may work for you, for me, for many performers and students out there, but for others, additional help may be required in refining our double tonguing and our triple tonguing. And this is, in my mind, where cross-training comes in. Now, when I say cross-training, what am I talking about? Cross-training refers to the repetition of musical figures or passages. Could be a couple of beats of music, could be 4 measures, could be an entire phrase. But essentially, we're going to take a pattern or a gesture of music, and we're going to play it differently and try to copy elements from one performance to the other. The reason cross-training is an effective technique for performers and for students is that you are using your strengths to improve your weaknesses. In other words, you're building a bridge from an area of strength in your playing to an area of weakness. We're going to explore 2 different articulation approaches that we can cross-train with to develop our double and triple tonguing. Cross-training with the slur and cross-training with the single tongue. Now, both of these approaches can address different elements in your multiple tonguing, and generally speaking, you're going to be much more experienced single tonguing and slurring than you will with multiple tonguing. So again, we're going to be building from a position of relative strength and experience to an element of our playing that's perhaps a little bit weaker. So let's begin by discussing cross-training with the slur. A common issue we sometimes have with double tonguing or triple tonguing is a perceived choppiness in the sound, and also with it kind of an accompanying lack of pitch definition. The instrument can almost take on the quality of an unpitched percussion instrument or a percussion instrument of indeterminate pitch. We hear the rhythmic delineation well, but the actual note is lost. When this issue manifests, it's often a balancing issue. The tongue is overbalancing the air. The tongue is working too hard, the airflow not working hard enough. Now, whether we're talking about single tonguing or multiple tonguing, you want to bear in mind that the air always drives the tongue, kind of like how the air drives the embouchure. Think of your tongue as a surfboard. It needs to ride the wave, the pressure wave. So, in order to increase the airflow, to get the air doing more of the work, as we multiple tongue, we want to cross-train with the slur. The goal being to kind of copy the sensation of air constantly flowing across the lips, from the lips into the instrument. We want to copy that sensation as we double tongue or triple tongue. So let's move on and talk about cross-training with the single tongue, which can be useful in addressing a different issue that we sometimes see with multiple tonguing, and that is a perceived imbalance between the syllables. With multiple tonguing, we of course incorporate the auxiliary syllable, the letter K or letter G attack at the back of the mouth, essentially creating that pivot that's involved with multiple tonguing. But these syllables, we have a lot less experience using them. We have years of development, articulating on ta, or with a letter D for tenuto passages, do. We have a lot of experience with that relative to the auxiliary syllable, so very frequently you will hear a mismatch between the primary syllable and the auxiliary syllable, kind of a choppiness or an unevenness of attack. Now, one method to address this issue is to actually substitute your auxiliary syllable as a primary syllable. In other words, to do single tonguing on ka. So aside from single tonguing on ka, we can also cross-train with the single tongue. Alternate passages single-tongued and then double or triple-tongued. And what we're going to do is we're going to use that nice consistent single tongue sound where every attack, every articulation sounds the same. We're going to copy that. We're going to listen for it and copy it to the double tongue or the triple tongue. So as you listen back, as you're playing, or also after you record, you listen back and you ask yourself, can I hear when I switch between single tongue and multiple tongue? And the goal is to make it to where that is imperceptible. It is worth mentioning here at the end that there is technically another type of cross-training that we can incorporate with multiple tonguing that doesn't involve alternate articulations so much as different tempo. We can cross-train with faster and slower tempi. Sometimes when we have deficiencies in our multiple tonguing of airflow or kind of an imbalance between the different syllables, these can be exacerbated if the tempo is incorrect or too fast. So slowing down the tempo, even to the point of playing in halftime, can be useful for refining your double tongue and your triple tongue and allowing you to really focus on that consistent airflow and kind of a balance between the front and back syllables. On the other hand, one of the reasons we develop double and triple tonguing is for speed, so it can be useful to also cross-train with faster tempi just to test your own control, to push your limits. You'll often find if you take a passage and then deliberately speed up, you'll find that once you pull it back, the original tempo is actually much more manageable by comparison. I hope this video has been useful to you and informative. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to reach out.